Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Circuits Yoga class, our special class during our holiday season kind of rest period. We're taking a few days off over the holidays, and this is luckily one of our classes we've added to the schedule for our holiday season right before the new year. So we're going to start actually last class of 2021. So thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be doing about 25 minutes or so of our circuit, and then we're going to finish off with our yoga practice today. We are going to be spending a lot of time on the ground for our yoga practice today. If you have a hard surface, make sure you have a blanket or something underneath you so that you could put underneath your knees so that it feels comfortable. I've got a hard surface, so for me as well, I've got a blanket as well, or a towel, whatever you have. Make sure you have, if you do have a strap at home, grab it. If you have yoga blocks at home, grab them, because actually those are going to be really handy for our hip openers today. Outside of that, for our circuit today, just make sure you have a nice array of different dumbbells accessible to you so that you can quickly grab them and switch out if you need to. Make sure you have water. Make sure your space is clear of any trip hazards. We're going to be doing 1 minute efforts today because we're going to be running through our circuit only once. We're going to have a nice warm up, and then we're going to go into our circuit for 1 minute on each of these efforts. If at all you need a break, take it and then get right back into it. So let's go ahead and start with a few nice big breaths just to ground ourselves here in our practice, in our workout today. And then let's get going into our circuit. Breathe in. We're going to start with a nice warm up today, and then breathe out. As with any time you work out, make sure you listen to your body today, not the body you had yesterday, not the body you have tomorrow, but the one that you woke up with right now. So just kind of feel into the body, feel into the breath. Let the arms just float. Maybe work out any crunchy bits as you're breathing in. Try to bring the breath deep to the belly. Relax the shoulders as you kind of come down, bending into the knees. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time, and let's all meet with our arms extended overhead, reaching tall. Press it to the feet, lift up through the belly, drop the right arm down to the side of the body. Gentle lateral bend here, opening up the ribs, opening up a bit of the hips. Keep the hips nice and stable here. Let that body just release to the right side. Beautiful. Breathe in, reach that right arm tall, left arm out to the side, over to the left side, opening up the ribs. Oh, that just feels so glorious. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, take the left arm up to the sky, reach that right arm down to the side. Just let that right shoulder kind of drift down nice and softly. Really feel that lift through and out of the hip here so you can really expand into the ribs. One more time. Breathe in, take that right arm up, left arm drifts down to the side, open up that side body. Soften the jaw, soften the eyes. Nice job. Come back through center, reach both arms up to the sky. Like you want to reach for the sun. Swim the arms behind you, either resting them at the hips or resting them, interlacing them together, opening up the heart space, finding that chest expansion here. I love chest expansions here because they really allow us to stretch the pectoralis major and minor, give that nice stretch throughout the chest area. Opening up the front body, pulling through the belly, lift through the sternum, maybe have a little gaze over the horizon with your eyes here. Fantastic. Release those hands and swing them forward. Let's press the chest away, down and back, press into the rib cage, drop the chin towards the heart, releasing the back of the neck. Fantastic. Release the arms, lift up the gaze. Let's go ahead and start our marches. Pulling up through the knees, arms are reaching. Nice vigorous walk here. We're getting right into it. Beautiful. Fantastic. So a nice movement through the arms here. I want you to pull up those knees. Remember, stay tall. I want you to imagine you're growing an inch or two taller. Reaching through the crown of the head, shoulders are pulled back. You're not rigid, but you're nice and grounded and solid here. Beautiful. Fantastic. Keep pulling up those knees. See if you can pull them up a little bit higher. Use those core muscles. Arms are swinging front to back to front. Nice and light. In that stopping of the dropping of the feet down to the floor. Fantastic. Beautiful. Excellent. Stay with me here for another 20 more seconds. We're doing a little dynamic lateral movement next. We're going to be taking our right leg into a side step and go into a little lateral lunge. Give our inner thighs a little stretch. Get a little bit more warmer into the legs. Beautiful. We've got another 3 more seconds left, and then we're going to take it out. 3, 2, 1. Land those feet. Take that right foot out to that right side. Find that kind of upside down V shape. Shift the hips back. You might need to open up that stance. Get that inner thigh nice and stretched out, nice and tall through the back. Press into that right foot. Stand up. Bend and press. Bend and press. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. When you're doing this type of work, you want to be able to kick your hips back. You want to keep your belly pulled in so you've got some good core engagement. And I want you to make sure you're really working that quadricep and glute here. Getting a little bit of that inner thigh stretch, very dynamic in nature, this effort. But I want to also make sure your knees are safe. So you want to kick those hips back to make sure those knees are behind the toes. You're square through the shoulders, so you're nice and tall here. Fantastic. Let's do 2 more. Beautiful. Last one. Excellent. Come up to standing. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other side. I'm going to slightly externally rotate my left foot so that my knee tracks nicely. Same thing on the other side. Just a little dynamic movement here. I love this effort. One of my favorites because we just don't get enough work into those inner thighs. And you know what? It feels quite good. So when you get into that space where you start to feel that lengthening, you don't need to go beyond that, right? It's not about stretching it to the point where it hurts, just enough where you feel sensation. Nice job. Make sure that back is nice and tall. Kick those hips back. Beautiful. Let's keep going for another 5 more seconds. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And stand up tall. Nice job. Let's turn those heels in, toes out, finding that sumo squat position. We're going to breathe in as we bend the knees. Reach the arms. Exhale, press up and extend the body. Reach and reach those arms. Press into the legs and lift. Let's pick up that tempo just a little here. Beautiful. Again, I want you to make sure those knees are not tracking inward. So often, our knees want to cave inward, and we want to make sure they're tracking nicely. Where tailbone is coming down, back is long, working those inner thighs, quads, glutes, hamstrings, getting them nice and warmed up. A little upper body work here. Beautiful. Stay with me for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Come up, bring it back through center, march it out. Now, if you want to join me for a little standalone jog here for about 1 minute, you're welcome to. If jogging for you is a no-go, that's cool. I want you marching up that really nice steep hill, all right? Come along with me if you want to. Otherwise, nice big marches, nicely big lifts up those knees, okay? Here we go. Nice. So I talk about impact work, so important for the strength of bones, right? We want that impact against the body, not hard impact, but enough where we can build that strength in the bones. So walking outside on hard surfaces, jogging, maybe just in place, maybe just for a short period of time. All that work is so good for the bones. Beautiful. We're halfway there. Beautiful. Also great, of course, the extra add-ons. Look at that extra cardiovascular, a little bit of that oomph in the heart, right? Which is always good. Beautiful. Stay with me. Got about 15 seconds left. As I'm jogging, my mat's moving. Be careful at home. Beautiful. Stay with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Land those feet. Fantastic. Excellent work. All right, let's go ahead. Reach those arms out to a strong T. We're going to march and arm circle it. Beautiful. So might have a little residual kickback on that breath. That's okay. Take a nice big breath to the belly. Get it under control. Maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in through the nose, out through the nose, whatever feels comfortable for you. Nice medium-sized circles here. Pull up those knees. Big marches still. Good. Let's go ahead and reverse the direction in 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Move that direction. Circle it opposite direction. Beautiful. Nice and strong through those arms. Keep them outstretched here. Work through that shoulder girdle. You got it. Fantastic. Stay with me for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest those arms. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. Woo. Beautiful. One more roll, shoulder roll. And then reverse the direction, up and over. Nice job. Hopefully you're feeling a little warmer and a little bit more ready for the rest of our practice today. All right, let's bring our shoulders back to neutral, right underneath the ears, and we're gonna get started right away with reverse lunges to balance. We're gonna be doing this with weights today. If you don't wanna do it with weights, that's totally cool. You can just either have one weight. I'm gonna have 2 on either side of my body. We're gonna do a reverse lunge. We're gonna bring it back to a balance. You know I love balance work, so we're gonna be doing some of that today. We're gonna do one arm, one leg, and then the other leg. Now today, we are doing 1-minute efforts. It's a little longer than usual. We're gonna add that extra 15 seconds in, so we get a little extra in today because we're only doing 1 round today. So let's go ahead and start. Maybe at the top of your mat, roll those shoulder blades back. I want the wrists neutral. Your weights are here. I want you turning them here so that they're nice and parallel to the floor. Let's get ready in 4, starting with my right leg. 3, 2, 1. Right leg back to a lunge. Pull it back up into a balance. Back and up. Now, remember, if you're a blowing palm tree today and you feel like your balance is a little bit challenged, if the weights are not helping you, set the weights to the side, put one arm, one hand to the wall, and just use the wall as some support just to be able to get into that lunge. You're also welcome, if you just want to work your balance, do some knee ups, just single leg. Press into the ball of the foot and the heel. Beautiful. We are about 12 seconds out. Nice job. Press into that leading, that kind of balancing leg, which would be your left leg. Good. We got 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Shake that off. Beautiful work. Nice job. 1-minute efforts, a little longer. It's amazing what an additional 15 seconds can feel like. All right, let's get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ground into that right foot. Lift up with that left. So I guess our theme for today is grounding work because we're going to be coming down to the ground for our yoga practice today. Why don't we just start inviting that sense of grounding into what we're doing right now? So feel that right foot pressing into the floor. Feel that sense of balance and foundation. Remember, slow your pace down. If you need to, find that breath. Good job. We're about 20 seconds out. Pull in through that belly. Press into that right foot. Beautiful. We've got 10, whoop, 9, 8, keep your gaze forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest that leg. Fantastic work. Excellent job. Beautiful. Let's grab a little water break. Next, we're going back into some bicep curls. We're going to be doing some single leg work. 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on another. Cross body bicep curl. Alrighty, let's grab our weights. So balance work, either lift the leg or lift the heel off the ground. So it's almost like you're just kicking that foot out. That may be enough for today for your balance work. So 30-30, lift one foot, doesn't matter which one. Balance in, find that gaze forward. Don't look at me on the screen. Well, first look at me what I'm doing, then you can look away. So cross body, right through the center of your body here. All right, here we go. 30 on one side, 30 on the other side. Then I want you to look ahead, find a drishti point, find a focal point ahead of you that you can really hone in on. Often when I lose my balance, when I'm in class, it's because I've turned over to look at the screen or look at the time and I'm facing the opposite direction, so it throws me off. All right, let's go ahead, continue those bicep curls, switch legs. Try not to let that change anything of your rhythm for the upper body. Keep those elbows wide, weights right through center here. Good job, 18 seconds left. Excellent work. You've got it. Good, 8 seconds left, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, fantastic. Rest, fantastic, awesome. All right, so next we're gonna be doing 2 sets of step backs. We're gonna be changing the movement of the upper body. We're gonna first start off with some rows to kickbacks. Of course, we're gonna be using weights. Then, second round, we're gonna be doing kickbacks with tricep kickbacks. We're doing a little hip extension, a lot of work in the glutes, little opening of the hips. So grab your weights. We're going to start off with some rows first with the step backs. Remember, we karate chop from the hips, then we bend into the knees. Back is long, shoulders are rolled back. We're going to bring those palms facing the body. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Row and step back. So we're going to find our own rhythm here. Your rhythm might be faster than mine. Maybe not, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. First, focus on really keeping that grounding of the feet down. As you're pulling up through the weights here, you're bringing those shoulder blades back. Notice if your shoulders are inching up towards your ears. Very common. So I want you to drop the shoulders and really focus on just opening up through the chest and squeezing those blades together, getting those traps and rhomboids nice and strong. Always good, especially to keep our posture really spot on. Good job. Whew. Fantastic. Almost there. We got about 12 seconds left. Beautiful. Excellent. 8. Fantastic. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Nice job. Grab a little water break. Next, we're going to do the exact same thing with some tricep kickbacks, working those back of the arms here. Again, same thing. You want to keep the upper body nice and tall. All right, let's go ahead. Grab those weights. So same thing with the kickbacks, except this time we're now working the triceps. So karate chop from the hips, back is long, abs are pulled in. If your back is slightly arched, tuck your tail slightly under, pull your belly in. Elbows tuck in. 3, 2, 1. Kick it back and kick it back. So what I often correct for on my own body and on others is this inclination to bring the gaze down. I want you to imagine, and I talked about this on Monday's class, what happens to that cervical spine. It's almost like you cut off that energy along the spine. So I want you to make sure that you always think, whether you're walking, whether you're exercising, whether you're on a bike, that's a big one for me. So I'm on a bike, really gotta watch my posture. Beautiful. And what often tends to happen for myself is I bring my head down and my neck is no longer aligned with the rest of my spine. So when I'm in these movements, I'm really careful to keep everything aligned. And if you're a yogi like me, it's also like that subtle energy that runs along the spine. You kind of cut it off when you let that spine kind of get out of line with the rest. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Well done. Excellent work. Beautiful. All right. Next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a little bit of a step-step stand. Again, working a bit of balance and a little bit of cardio here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a step-step stand, step-step stand. So a little bit of balance work. Now, there's a little coordination involved in this. So it's going to be step, step, stand, step, step, stand. If that feels like it feels a little muddled, then this is what I'm going to recommend you do. Stand on one leg, hop to the other leg, hop to the other leg, hop to the other leg, okay? That could be the option. If that doesn't work at all, then I want you just to walk side to side, okay? Working again, still balance. So I'm gonna do the step, step, land. If you wanna join along with me, there's other options. You can hop and hop, okay? You choose. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Step, step, stand, step, step, stand. That's it. Good, beautiful, great work here for a little cardio, but also for balance. Lateral movement, moving the body in different ranges of motion, planes of motion, always good. That's it, nice job, beautiful. Pick up that pace if you want to. Pull up those feet. That's it, 30 seconds, you got it. Excellent, beautiful, looking great. It's a little bit like skaters, just that added extra step in the middle. 20 seconds left, you got it. You've got it, beautiful work. That's it, keep it going. We are about 11 seconds out. Nice job, you got it. Stay with me, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Well done. Beautiful, beautiful work, fantastic. Grab some water, shake that off. Excellent job. Alrighty, we're doing some shoulder work next. So we're gonna be doing some single arm military presses. We're gonna do one side for 30 seconds, the other side for 30. Grab your weights. You can hold 2 weights so you don't have to switch out. I'm gonna have one hand on my hip, getting ready for that second side. My other arm, my right arm, is gonna be at 90 degrees here. So what I want you to make sure is when you land this arm, it lands right at around your shoulder height, not down here, okay? Here we go, 3, 2, 1, let's do it. Single arm, military press, stay tall through the body. Nice, nice inhales and exhales. You got it. So we've worked the biceps, we've worked the triceps, we've worked the traps. Now we're working the shoulders. We've got 10 more seconds here. We're gonna take the other side up. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest that right arm, bring it down to the hip. Other side opens. Nice and wide through the chest. Press it up. Here we go. Beautiful. Make sure your core is on. You're not leaning back. Your abs are gonna work to stabilize your spine. Draw some good awareness there. Halfway, 15 seconds to go. Beautiful. Fantastic. Good. We're almost there. 10. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Excellent work. Fantastic job. Awesome. Alrighty, everyone, we're going to take it down to the floor next. So we're going to be going ahead and doing a little bit of glute work, then we're going to get into some core, and then we're going to get right into our yoga practice today. So make sure that you have what you need for your yoga practice. You've got your towel if you have one, or a strap, yoga blocks if you have them. I don't actually have yoga blocks here, which is actually totally odd and strange because I think I did have them here at one point, but I don't know where they are. All right, so we're gonna make it down to the floor. We're gonna start off on our hands and knees. If you have some things going on with your knees today, make sure you put some padding underneath them. Hard surfaces can feel really uncomfortable on the patella. Hands are gonna spread out, shoulder distance apart, back is long here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna kick out our right leg. So we're gonna be weighing in slightly more into that left leg. Now I want you to flex into that right leg so that the heel is reaching to the back of the room. Your back is nice and long here. Head is stacked up onto the rest of the spine. Hands are really supported here, so you've got some good work through the shoulders here. We're gonna lift and then halfway down lower. Lift and lower. I'm actually gonna put something underneath my knee. Here we go. So nice work through the glute maximus here. Now, as I'm doing this, I can't see you at home right now, but what I want you to make sure is what you're not doing is you're not flexing or extending as you're lifting. So your upper body is really solid here. Core is turned on. Beautiful. We're already 30 seconds in. We got 30 more to go. Keep those heels flexed, and that's going to fire up the back of the leg here. Good. 20 seconds. Beautiful. You've got it. 15 seconds. Keep it going. That's it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Woo! Sit back onto your heels. Give your glute a little break. Such great work to get those glutes nice and strong. All right, let's switch up. Other side. I'm going to take that blanket or towel over to that right knee. Flex into that left leg, back as long. Again, press those hands into the floor. Get those shoulder blades pressed up against the rib cage. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Lift halfway down, lower. I'm not letting my leg come down to the floor. I'm going to let it hover right above. So I get that work really into that glute. Not much rest going on, but if you need that rest, take it. Remember, toes down, heel away from the body, body's long, heels press into the back of the room. Nice job, you got it. 40 seconds left. I have to tell you, even working the isometric side of my body, so that right knee that's down, that's really not doing anything, is still working. I can feel my glute fired up here. 25 seconds left. You got it. 20 seconds left. Beautiful work. 15. You're there. Excellent work. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Fantastic. Well done. Beautiful job. Excellent. All right, we're going to do a little bit of extension for our core portion of our class today. Let's come down directly onto our tummy. We're going to be doing a little bit of lower lifting of the legs and then a little bit of swimming. So we're going to start off for 30 seconds, lifting and lowering just the lower part of our body. Upper body's going to rest down to the floor. Then we're going to swim those legs, really kind of get the back body nice and strong here. So I'm going to land my forehead down on the floor with my hands kind of resting down to the floor, my forehead resting down directly on top of my hands. So I want you to make sure that your back is nice and long, your abs and your glutes are turned on. We're going to roll those shoulder blades back, pull up through the belly in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, lift and lower just the legs. Now making sure to keep those glutes and core turned on. What I don't want you to feel like you have to do is really lift and find that extension so much that it feels compressive in the low back. That's not the intention. The intention is to create a little bit of extension. We're just working that lower body here. Beautiful. Next, we're going to go into those swimmers with just the legs in 3, 2, 1. I want you to lift those legs, keep them lifted, and I want you to kick the feet. Keep them lifted, relax the shoulders, abs pull in, glutes turn on. Nice work. Beautiful. Good. That's it. Keep those swimmers. You got 15 seconds left. You're almost there. A lot of work here. Excellent job. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Woo! Nice job. Beautiful. All right, team, we're going to move right into our plank next. We've got a 1-minute plank coming up. So forearm plank or push-up plank, whatever feels best for you, kneeling or push-up kneeling or forearm kneeling, whatever feels right for you. We got a minute here. So let's get ourselves ready. I'm going to go into a forearm plank, elbows underneath shoulders, curl the toes under, pull the abs in, and lift. Here we go, into our plank. Same thing, keep the head reaching forward, heels reaching back. Now here, what I want you to be careful for is you're not winging through the shoulders here. Remember, you want to keep those blades pressed up against the rib cage. If you can only imagine what happens when we wing our shoulder blades, it really creates a lot of pressure into that shoulder girdle So the more active we are, the more stable we're going to be through the shoulder girdle. Obviously, that's going to just help long term. Beautiful. If you need a break, you take it. But I want you to get back into it because I know you got this. We got 20 seconds left. You're almost there. Good. 13 seconds. You're almost there. 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest those knees. Press back onto your heels. Beautiful work. We've got 2 more minutes left and we're going to move right into our yoga practice. So let's go ahead and take ourselves onto our backs. We're going to go right into some crunches, so a little bit of flexion. Bring our feet hip distance apart. We're going to do 30 seconds with our feet down and then 30 seconds with our legs up at 90 degrees. So let's go ahead and bring ourselves down to the floor. Knees hip distance apart. Hands are going to rest behind the crown. You know the deal. Make sure it's neutral spine. Inhale, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, lift. Here we go. Last week in one of our classes, we were doing crunches, and it's never happened to me before. But for the whole day after, I had a spasm on the left side of my core. It was so weird. It felt like my tummy was gurgling the whole day, but it wasn't. It was just a muscle going a little crazy. All right, let's get ready. Let's bring those legs up to 90. You can take this, you can leave this. It's up to you. We got 22 seconds left. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. That's it. You've got it. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Excellent work. Beautiful. All right. Our last effort for core today is going to be our bicycles. Again, we're going to do the same thing as we did with crunches. We're going to start with our feet down, and then we're going to take our legs up and do that full bicycle expression of the exercise. Hands resting behind the head. Inhale, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, rotate, right shoulder to left thigh, back through center, over to the other side. Now, I'm not going to let myself rest here. I'm going to stay in this flexion, so my shoulder blades are lifted the whole time. It's going to add a little bit more intensity to the effort. And I really want you to be careful that you're not shimmying your pelvis side to side. You're grounded. The more grounded you can be, the more your core has to work. All right, let's get ready. We're going to take it up in 3, 2, 1. Legs up, bicycles. Full expression here. That's it. You've got it. Beautiful. Good. 20 seconds left. This is our last one. Last little bit here. Hang in with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Excellent work. Beautiful, everyone. All right. Now we're going to move into yoga, kind of switching gears a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take my shoes and socks off. I prefer to practice with no socks on just because they slip sometimes, but it's a grounding practice today. We're not going to be moving from up to down. So if you want to keep your socks on, you can. It's really up to you. There's no rules, right? The rule is just to listen to your body and choose what works best for you. So we're going to start on our backs. So whenever you're ready, come back down onto your backs. Knees are going to be bent and hip distance apart. I'm going to take it right into a nice quiet music. Let's see if I can bring you a little closer to me. Beautiful. All right, everyone. So we're going to begin today on our backs. So we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest. And we're going to start off just by giving ourselves a little hug here. You know, we're such givers, right? It's what we do every day. We give, give, give. And I love yoga because it's a time to give to ourselves. It's a time to kind of hone in. Whether you have a meditation practice, or whether you have a yoga practice, well, yoga, meditation is part of yoga, but whatever practice you do to kind of be able to give yourself some self-care. I'd love to start off with kind of knees to chest. It's just such a comforting position. Maybe you pull in and lengthen out the low back a little bit. Maybe you open the knees in opposition. Start to move through the hip joint here. I'm just drawing some large circles. Now, yoga, we practice pranayama as our breath work. And there's so many breath practices we can adopt. But certainly one of my favorites is Ujjayi, our victorious breath. Maybe you start to notice the breath in through the nose and breathe out through the nose, that little constriction in the back of the throat. Try to deepen the breath. Maybe take a moment to focus more on the inhale. Deepen it. And then release the exhale. Maybe you take these hip circles or these hip joint movements, rotations, just in the opposite direction. Try to see if you can let go of your legs and let your hands do all the work here, just guiding your knees in the opposite direction. Maybe you can work through this rotation, this opening, softening any points that feel a little crunchy, a little more restricted. Now I want you to take your Ujjayi breath and focus on the exhale. Elongate that exhale, even deeper and longer. Soften the eyes behind the eyelids, the little space between the brow, the cheeks, the jaw, the ears, forehead, the hair on your head. And then when you're ready, we're going to land our feet down to the floor. Draw our right knee in towards our chest, maybe setting the hands behind the thighs or in front of the knee. You decide what works best for you. Pull that right knee in towards your chest. Release the hip here. If you're working against it, try to let it go. I always think about, what would I tell a friend? They're saying, oh, I'm tugging it in. What would I tell that person? Just release. So I want you to tell yourself, just release and just let it go. Release any inclination to want to go deeper beyond where it feels good. And then go ahead and release that right foot. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Pull that knee in as far as feels comfortable. Don't strain through the upper body. Remember, we're trying to invite some gentleness into the body and not strain. Beautiful. And go ahead and land that left foot down, resting the hands at the side of your body as we move into our bridges, our yoga bridges. Heels are going to pull in towards the glutes, knees, hips, and ankles are aligned. We're going to arch the low back, and then as we exhale, pull the low back down to the floor. Start to energize through the glutes, press into the heels, open up the front of the body. And then slowly set the sacrum down on the inhale, release. And float, lift up, press into the heels, engage to the glutes, reach to the knees. Now here, I want you to imagine you're opening your hips here, you're opening the front body, and then go ahead, use your core, set your sacrum back down to the floor. And just float here. I want you to kind of flow with one breath, one movement. Working the back body, be very conscious of what's working here. Are you pressing into your heels? Is the weight of your body resting into your throat? Can you rest it more into your shoulders? Spread that weight out along the clavicles, along the chest. Press the feet into the floor. Really energize that connection of the earth to body. That beautiful foundation, that beautiful, just that earthly connection. When we ground our body, it's really one of the first things we do, especially in moments of like unease or crisis, or just kind of feeling really kind of all over the place. Certainly it's one of the things, one of the techniques we try to adopt. Certainly a lot of science is backing up this idea of grounding our body. And I literally mean from a physical standpoint, just grounding our body to the earth, really connecting down, and how that helps our nervous system to kind of create a bit of sense of calm, especially when we're in that space of just kind of fight or flight, just kind of needing to get out of a space. But sometimes we need to just ground our body. And I love grounding work. I love work like this because it just connects us. It takes a moment for us to remind ourselves of the foundation that's always there for us, always. Beautiful. Now, the next time you find yourself down to the floor, let's go ahead and rest that sacrum down. Maybe you bring your feet wide as the mat, and gently windshield wiper the legs out. So maybe in this case, I've got my right leg out, my left knee in, opening up the hip here, and then pull through center, let the opposite knee drop towards center, let the left knee fall to the side. And just allow yourself to flow here a few times, kind of just allowing the movement. Maybe you want to just hang out in one spot a little longer because it feels better for you. Make sure you're cognizant of your core. You're letting this feel really nice and fluid here. Beautiful. Maybe you'll find yourself doing one more. And then when you're ready, come right back in towards center. Fantastic. Toe heel your feet so that your feet are now hip distance apart. And we're going to go ahead and extend our left leg down to the ground. And this is where if you have a strap at home, maybe you can grab it. If you don't have a strap and you're doing a makeshift tea towel or bathroom towel, you can use that and extend the leg up to the sky. This is a little bit of a short towel. So I'm straining a little bit through my upper body, but I'm going to try to relax it a little bit. So here, we're just going to give our hamstrings a nice little stretch here. And if you don't have a towel or a strap, you can absolutely do this just by lengthening the leg, maybe resting the hands gently behind the thighs. Maybe your knee has to be slightly bent. Now from here, if you can, grab the strap. If you don't have a strap, just take that leg and you're going to gently guide it. I'm actually going to just do that. I'm not going to use the towel. I'm going to just guide my right leg over my midline. Now here, what I want you to watch for is keep your hip joint aligned as you come into the rotation. Now you're going to get to a point potentially where, you feel that IT band stretching. And really, I can't emphasize this enough. Don't strain. Try not to force this big rotation and make it feel uncomfortable. Try to ease into this IT band. Now, the IT band runs kind of from where the hip is all the way down to the outer edge of the knee. And often it can get tight. It's also a great stretch for the piriformis, that beautiful muscle that runs laterally across the glutes that works all the time. Try to relax into it. Can feel pretty intense. So just try to find a nice breath pattern. Try to relax the mind and the body. Good. And let's go ahead and come back in through center. Set that right foot down. Reset your body back to the middle of your mat if you had to readjust. And this time, take the right ankle over the left knee. And we're going to create our figure four stretch here. So for some of us, just the act of bringing the right ankle over the left knee is going to be enough to open up the hip. If it feels, and if you have room, you're absolutely welcome to lift that left leg, maybe interlace the fingers behind the thigh. So here would be a great opportunity if bringing the leg up and bringing the hands behind the thigh just doesn't feel like it's accessible today. Maybe you would take a yoga block and set it underneath the left foot. And that is a great way to start easing ourselves into this hip opener. A lot of times, even dimensions, upper body and lower body, might have longer legs or shorter arms. And so reaching behind the thighs doesn't always feel accessible. Try to relax into that right hip. You can always add on a little hamstring stretch by lengthening out the leg. It's up to you. Fantastic. Set that left foot down. Unwind your right from your left. And just gently bring the inner thighs together and just gently rock your body side to side. Just kind of letting it go, kind of wiggling it out. Continue to breathe in with that Ujjayi breath. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and make our way back in towards center. And we're going to extend our right leg long, take our left leg up to the sky, and just find that hamstring stretch. So maybe, again, you're placing the hands behind the thigh or you're using a blanket. And just like we did earlier with our glute work, flexing the feet is going to really fire up the back of the legs. And you can feel the difference. When my foot's kind of resting, I don't really feel that much behind the thigh, although that's my body. So you might feel a little different. That might be exactly where you need to be. But when I start to flex my toes towards center, it's like, ooh, it starts to just activate the back of the leg and just wakes it all up. Again, you can have a bend in the knee because if that's where it needs to be today, that's totally cool. No stress. Great. Now we're going to take that left leg over our midline and we're going to cross it over. Again, I want you to imagine everything's aligned here, hip, knee, and ankle. You're not letting that left leg kind of drift down towards the lower part of the body. So it's like you're crossing it right over it. Again, it might not be a huge rotation. Let your shoulders stay grounded. Try to relax them through the hips here. Try to breathe into this. It can feel pretty intense. Great. Let's slowly make our way back in towards center. And we're going to take that right knee, bend it, and cross the left ankle over that right knee. Find our figure four. Either staying here or drawing that right thigh in towards center, maybe even extending the leg. You know, I have to say this is probably one of my favorites because it really always reminds me of how sometimes we forget to stretch the hips. And this one's so nice because it's so accessible, because there's so many variations you can do to make it accessible. And it's really effective, the stretching out the hip, maybe giving a little bit of the low back a little stretch too. Good. Go ahead and set that right foot down. Unwind the left from the right, bring those inner thighs towards center and just gently sway the knees side to side. Just kind of loosening up and releasing that back. Terrific. Now, when we're ready, let's go ahead and we're going to rock ourselves towards one side and kind of rolling ourselves, and we're going to bring ourselves into all fours. So let's go ahead and bring ourselves to all fours. If you have a blanket or something underneath to rest your knees on, go ahead and do that if you need it. Of course, if you don't, let it go. I'm going to do it today. In my home studio, I have a soft floor at here. It's a hard surface, so it feels not so great. All right, we're going to make our way into our all fours to do our cat-cow. So knees hip distance apart, hands underneath our shoulders, back is long, head is stacked up on the rest of the spine. Inhale, start to arch the low back, open up the heart space. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the spine, pull those inner thighs towards center, engage through the glutes here. Inhale, open. Exhale, close it up. Inhale. And exhale. Now, as you're exhaling, imagine you're letting your head go. So let the head and the back of the neck release. Press the hands into the floor. Engage the glutes and the inner thighs. Working and articulating through the spine here. Press the rib cage back towards the sun. Press the shoulder blades back up against the rib cage. Pull the navel in. Engage that core. Fantastic. Let's do one more. Excellent work. Come back towards center. Find that neutral spine again. We're going to take our left foot forward. So this is where, if you have a blanket underneath the knees, it would really be handy just to keep the patella nice and soft or a little bit padded. And we're going to go into our kneeling lunge here. So here, I don't have my yoga blocks. I'm just going to take some dumbbells here and rest them at the side. And I'm going to take my front knee enough forward so that when I lean forward or lean down, let gravity kind of pull me down, I'm not letting my knee track past my toes. A lot of times people come here and you have to imagine what's happening in the knee here. It puts a lot of pressure. So we just want to find that 90-degree angle. So when we lean in with that knee and ankle are aligned, we're tall through the spine. And that's where these, if you have yoga blocks or in my case, dumbbells today, just kind of gives me that tactile feedback, right? Just that little bit of support. Again, I'm coming to this with so much care. I always say this. The hips, the piriformis, not the piriformis, the psoas, they hold a lot of stress. They hold a lot of tension. It's that fight or flight muscle. So when we got a lot of things going on and we can't release it, that's where it goes. It goes into our body, especially certain things that happen emotionally that has not been released. Because of its connection to our nervous system, its location to our diaphragm, our psoas is like a sponge to hold on to things that can or has caused this strain. So even though it's a muscle and it helps us move, it's a prime mover. It makes us go forward and back, and basically it works all day long because we're constantly moving. It's also very, very intricately connected to our nervous system, our para and sympathetic system. So going into this heavy and hard is and can be a little unsettling. So I always say to go in it like, back to my food reference, because I'm watching a lot of Great British Baking Show, like kind of like melting icing. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. I've done a lot of work and research on the psoas. As most of you have been to my workshop. And as you switch sides, again, just let gravity kind of pull you down and softly work your way into it, breathing deeply to the belly. And reminding ourselves that if we have tight hips, It affects our low back. So a regular hip practice is really great just to keep those hips nice and loose. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and release. Beautiful, everyone. Thank you. Let's go ahead and set our yoga blocks or our dumbbells to the side. And we're going to make our way back onto our backs again. So let's go ahead and lie down on our backs. And we're going to come into our butterfly pose. So for those of us at home, butterfly is again another hip opener. If you do have yoga blocks and you want to have it more restorative in nature, so a little less into, inclination to work the hips, more just to release them, you can absolutely put a yoga block underneath each knees. So go ahead and lie down to the floor. Start with your feet flat to the floor, knees bent. We're going to slowly bring our soles of our feet together. And then as we bring them together, you could start to open the knees. And here's where, if you want to use a yoga block or something, a pillow, to kind of rest underneath the knees. If this feels too intense, you can do a half butterfly, maybe just open up one knee and not the other. Maybe it just doesn't feel right for you to open up the hips this way. Maybe it feels too much on the low back. If that's the case, then I want you to take this in a completely opposite direction into constructive rest pose. And that's where we open the feet wide and draw the knees together. This is amazing to help release the hips. It feels like you're not doing much, but you are doing so much. Because in constructive rest pose, the psoas can really just chill out. It doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't have to work. It just has a little bit of a break. And take the next 5 breaths. And as you take each inhale, deepen that inhale and then make yourself 1% more comfortable on each exhale. So slowly let the breath drift out of the mouth or the nose. Try to release the body down towards the ground. Feeling a little bit heavier into the surface that you're resting upon. Soften the eyes and the throat, the ears and the jaw. Beautiful. And you're absolutely welcome to stay and construct into this pose or in constructive rest pose. Or if you'd like to, we'll slowly, if you're in butterfly pose, slowly bring the knees back towards center. Don't rush this, take your time. And then go ahead and extend the legs. Maybe you bring them a little wider than hip distance apart as we come into our final pose of Shavasana. Maybe just for today, we close our last class of the year off with one hand to our heart, one hand to our tummy as just a reminder of the life force of the breath that enters and leaves our body. And the love in our hearts and compassion that we hold so dear to us, for others, and hopefully for ourselves. Now let's start to deepen the breath, bringing our surroundings back into our awareness. Maybe start to gently move the fingers and the toes, just creating a little bit of movement there. And if you're not quite ready to leave Shavasana yet, please, I encourage you to stay exactly where you are. You don't need to leave. You're welcome to stay there. Take what you need. Part of the practice is tuning into that space in our minds and in our hearts. It's kind of calling, little voice is saying, you need this today. So take it, please. Maybe you start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, and whenever you're ready, if you'd like to, you can always roll onto your favorite side as that kind of transition from where we were to where we're going. And then whenever you're ready, we can slowly take that top arm and just press ourselves up and come into our Sukhasana, our easy seated pose. I gotta fix our hair maybe. And perhaps we sit up tall and relax the shoulders. Maybe bring our hands to our heart center and Anjali Mudra. And reminding ourselves that Anjali Mudra is like a symbol of us all being one, all being connected and balanced. So with a gentle bow of our head towards our hands, in recognition of the light that shines within us all, may your heart always stay warm. May your smile always stay broad. And may the light that shines in me honor and see the light that shines in you. Namaste. As always, thank you for joining me today for our last class of 2021. I wish you all a marvelous start to the new year, and hopefully it's healthy and happy. And I look forward to seeing you again at some point in the new year. From my heart to yours, thank you so much, everyone. Lots of love. Bye-bye.